Hi everyone, I'm Roshan James and I'm an artist, poet, and musician working in the Waterloo region. And I'd like to acknowledge that I'm a settler on Turtle Island, which is colonially known as Canada. And I'm a settler here because my parents chose to immigrate to Canada from India in the 70s. And as a settler and as a part of an Indigenous community from another part of the world, Tibet, I feel a very keen accountability to learn about Indigenous history and rights and to try my best to be an active ally in my daily choices so that in community we can continue to dismantle the oppressive systems that unfairly target Indigenous, Black, and racialized communities, as well as 2S LGBTQIA+ communities and marginalized communities overall. It's an honor to be included in the City of Waterloo's celebration of World Poetry Day for 2023. I started practicing poetry and writing poetry in a consistent way in 2013 and published my very first collection in 2017, followed by 2 additional collections in 2018 and 2020. But I actually spent the first part of my career not working in academics or the literary world, but in business and financial services and technology. Poetry became a way for me to sift through life and to organize my thoughts and my feelings. And it was a very, very important part of my outlet throughout my mental health journey and really helped me process so much of what I had experienced as trauma and challenging life situations over the course of my childhood and into my 30s. The importance of poetry to me as the person writing it is not so much the end product, but the process of creating it and sitting with thoughts. Writing poetry to me pushes you to observe everyday situations and micro moments and serendipitous happenings, and to see all of this through a deeper gaze and a more mindful gaze. And the beauty about this, in my mind, is that you get to savor more of life, and it builds a muscle of intellectual discernment that is helpful in so many areas of life as well as in other areas of artistic practice. When I wrote To Be Free, it was in response to what I was observing in the community right here in the Waterloo region. Friends of mine were being attacked by racists and white supremacists publicly and privately. We were hearing news about the bodies of Indigenous children found buried under residential schools. And I also noticed competing values in our municipalities about how to support unhoused folks, racialized folks, marginalized people in general. And all of it felt really big and overwhelming. And there were times where I wasn't quite sure what to do. It felt like there were others who were more educated, who were able to speak out on these topics in a better way, or had a bigger platform than I did. And there were many moments where I just wasn't quite sure what to do. But what I've learned through my poetic practice is that words and speaking out publicly really does make a difference, even if it is, no matter how big your platform is, even if it's something very, very small, there is a positive ripple effect that that happens when you take that active ally action to speak out and to come alongside people who really need the support. And there are many good people doing good work across the region of Waterloo to support marginalized communities, racialized communities. And so in writing To Be Free, I wanted to offer this up as an ally myself and a committed doer, and in dedication to the people in the region of Waterloo who are putting in the effort every day to detach themselves from colonial, capitalistic, patriarchal, toxic ways of being and to envision a healthier, community-focused way of thriving together. If you'd like to follow my poetry practice, my creative practice, you'll find me on Instagram at Roshan_James or on Facebook at Poetry by Roshan. You can also find me on LinkedIn as well under Roshan James. And please do reach out if you have questions about my work. If you want to chat about something that I've shared, I'm always happy to do that. And I am very excited to share with you that my next collection will be released through ECW Press in Toronto later this year in September. The title is called Pink Moon, so keep an eye out for that. And I can't wait to hear your reactions and responses to that. I will now read to you To Be Free. Can you hear the silent screams from divine eyes telling immortal time? There is crying in the streets. What were we holding on to when the world started falling apart piece by piece by piece? A long winter of war and plague is upon us. Spiritual fire, ghost parades, and all manner of archangels pass over us. There is yet crying in the streets. Black and brown bodies become sacrifices of the state. Flesh on the altar of cloaked supremacy. Divine femininity rises in a mist. Blood spilling from our sacred vessels. Bones of this land's children push their petals, singing truth can't be broken, burned, or buried. Where is the crying in the streets? Open mouths hang empty, hungry, while dog walkers pace the park in their padded parkas and fleece. It's absurdity if you feel me. The fury and insanity of white men and their minions gone mad with power. There's a golden hammer, dread to the highest power. And the rest of us will be gone till November. Will anyone remember why we were hanging on? There will be ghosts to grieve as they float idly by on drifting thoughts and smoldering pyres. Shadow selves we no longer keep. While spring rivers meandering, then quickening around the bend, carry some people's cares out to the sea. Who will keep on troubling in a good kind of way with you and with me? We must remember it is so much more than hanging on. It is living, fighting, dreaming to be free.